June 1st, 2026. And that was today. Myles Garrett, hey, he's going to the Rams. A.J. Brown, shipped to New England. That wasn't pretty much a secret, right? Odell Beckham, he's back home with the Giants, where it all started. And Russell Wilson, he walked away from the game for good, it looks like, to broadcast. One day, 4 names you grew up watching, that's the NFL. It never asks if you're ready. And also on a somber note, and we lost a real one, Raymond, 93 years old, a man who helped build the game of the NFL we love. Rest easy, legend. But let me get personal for a second. As y'all can see, right? I've been a Knicks fan my whole young life. Through the lottery picks, the heartbreak. Y'all remember Charles Smith, right? Yes, another scab on the wound, right? The wait till next year, 1973 was the last time the Knicks actually won it all, right? 1999 was the last time they actually was in the finals. And now my Knicks are back in the finals. Hey, we're underdogs, looking like nobody's picking us. Yeah, I'm good with it though, right? I think it's going to be a very good series. We'll get into it because this is what we waited for, right? So, hey, welcome to the Weekend Rewind. Let's chase it. Hey, and let's get ready to get this under, right? Get this ready to go.
This is Sports Chasers, where real fans get real sports talk. No hot takes, no narratives, just objective perspective, honest debate, and everything happening across the sports landscape. Now, let's join the chase.
Hey, good evening, everybody. What's happening, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers coming to you live and direct here on a Monday night, man. But before we get into every and anything, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit all the bells for all the wonderful notifications. I probably got a lot this weekend. We put out some content this weekend. Thank you for all those that's chiming in. And those that's listening on the sound of my voice on the podcasting side, y'all guys have been killing it on the podcast on Apple and Spotify. We thank you so kindly for the downloads and the listens and the reviews. Hey, my call to action is working, man. We appreciate the reviews. Lovers or haters, let us know how we're doing. And you guys are doing exactly that. Y'all doing that on YouTube also and Twitch and millions. We thank you so much for it tonight, man. We really do. We really appreciate that, man. Hey, man, but tonight, man, we got a lot to get into. As I said today, my phone was going off all day. The NFL, this is what the NFL does, man. Hey, they went right into it, man. A bunch of bevy of trades and some movement that's, going to shock the thing. It's going to shock the NFL, the league this year. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. Hey, like I said, my Knicks, hey, they were in the finals, man. First time since 99. They haven't won a title since 1973. We're here for it tonight. They face the San Antonio Spurs led by Victor Wembanyama. We'll get into that a little bit. The Major League Baseball's Players Association has pushed back as of about 2 hours ago. We don't like what the owners are offering. Uh-oh. So we'll see. Let's meet the crew. Hey, we got a skeleton crew with us tonight. Life is lifing. Hey, what we got here? We got the Angry One. Angry One, good evening, sir. How are you?
Yo, what's going on Monday night? Chasers Nation, what's going on with y'all? Hey, man, Kev, I just got to say something real quick. I almost hijacked your intro. I was like, yo, man, you was doing well. You was doing well, bro. First of all, this is our Knicks. Okay, it's not just Kevin's Knicks. It's our Knicks. Okay, if you watch the show, you know it's not give up here with the Knicks.
Yeah, right.
I got to poke with you on that one. But yo, man, don't bring up Charles Smith, man. We us Knicks fans, we know what it is. The outsiders who don't know, they don't need to know. Don't. Yeah, that's kind of like throwing a monkey wrench in the whole thing, man. Don't bring that man's name up no more. we on cruise control. Knicks in 6, baby. Let's go.
Knicks in 6. Shout out to all those that's in the chat. We appreciate you that's in the chat. Who we got in the chat? We got D-Dubs in the chat. He's recovering, man. Also, our chaplain for the Sports Chasers, Vanessa Warren. Thank you. Good evening to you, Vanessa. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hey, auntie.
Yeah, shout out to all those.
What up, cuz?
Yeah. Shout out to all those. Excuse me. That's bringing it through. So let's just go ahead and just get with it, man. The NFL, like I said, my phone was a buzzing this morning, and I was like, man, yeah, hold on. Let me put this disclaimer out there because D-Dubs is getting on my case too. Shout out to the angry one. Yes, he's a longtime Knicks fan like me. D-Dubs, actually, longtime Knicks fan. Yeah, Knicks in 4. D-Dubs says Knicks in 4. The DA, Mike Mills.
Okay.
Appreciate that. All right. So, hey, maybe have to have Coach Jarrett back on here again. See what he's doing, man. So let me get into it, though. The NFL was on front and center today with all their news and a bevy of trades. And this is from the Orange County Register Sports, from Ryan Carte from his periodical. And this was written today. And let me just go into what I got to say, folks. Once in a while, the NFL trades comes along that shifts the balance of power in an entire conference. This isn't just a player changing teams. This is a franchise making a statement. The Rams are planning for the future. They're trying to win a Super Bowl right now. And give it up to the Rams, man. They are absolutely going for it on 4th and inches. They're fourth and whatever. They're going for it, man. So let me just break it down to you, man. Tonight on the Chasers Post, because yes, we're doing the Chasers Post here. We're breaking down one of the biggest NFL trades we've seen in years. That the LA Rams reportedly acquired arguably the best defensive player in football, Myles Garrett, from the Cleveland Browns. The question is simply, who has won the deal? So we won't know for right now, but let me just give it to you. The numbers. The Rams, they received Myles Garrett, a 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time Pro Bowler, 5-time first-team All-Pro, NFL record holder with 23 sacks in 2025, one of the most dominant pass rushers of this generation. The Cleveland Browns received Jared Verse, one of the NFL's brightest young pass rushers, and they also received a 2027 first-round pick, 2028 second-round pick, a 2029 third-round pick. And why this trade happened? Garrett reportedly became frustrated with Cleveland's direction. He had not participated in offseason activities. Browns was entering another retooling phase. Rams aggressively pursued Garrett for months and finally met Cleveland's asking price. So like I said before, the Rams go, hey, they trying to go for it right now. Win the Super Bowl immediately. The Rams will host Super Bowl. I swear. I thought the Rams just hosted a Super Bowl, SoFi Stadium here a couple years ago. General Manager Les Snead continues his philosophy, acquiring proven stars rather than stockpiling draft picks. The Browns go, they acquire younger talent, gain future draft capital, reset around a younger defensive core led by Jared Verse. So I know I got in a lot on that one. Let me just go first. And shout out to all those that's in. Hey, put it in the comments, man. What do you think about this trade?
Put it in the comments.
Bears fan. That's another story. Bears about to move across the state line for sure. What was I going to say? Yeah, so this trade, the Rams, absolutely. The Rams are going for it. And we said on this show a couple years, what was it? I don't know if you remember when Myles Garrett signed that contract. I said, man, he wants to stay in futility. He's good with it.
Yo, man.
You remember that?
You did all that crying. Hold on, let's backtrack. You was starting all that crying, talking about you want to play, you want to play for a contender and this and that the third, and then you double back and sign. I guess you couldn't resist all that money that they was giving you. Rightfully so. I'm not mad at that. But what did we say, Kev? On this show, we said, okay, you signed it. That's cool. You have every right to sign and go wherever you want to. But we don't want to hear no crying. You sign on that dotted line for all that money. You better produce. We don't want to hear no crying. Now, he has done both to his credit. He has remained standing tall at that ATM, signing off, doing all types of withdrawals and deposits, man. But by far, I would dare I say, since Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett has been the defensive force in the NFL since then. So, what the Rams have given up for him, this is exactly what you should give up for a guy of this caliber. I'm not mad at what they given up, because what people fail to realize is that the Rams also know how to scout. Okay, we give up a first-round pick. Okay, we give up a second-round pick. But guess what? There is diamonds in the rough in them third rounds, in the fourth rounds, in the fifth round. So they're good to go. My question will be, and of course it won't be answered for years to come, is what will the Cleveland Browns now do with these picks going forward? Just because you got picks does not mean that you're going to do anything with them or they're going to come to fruition with who you draft. So we shall see. Right now, yeah, it's going to look like that the Rams, they're going all in. It look like the Rams have basically stole the Super Bowl. But of course, the Super Bowl is at SoFi. And just like Kev said, yo, man, it wasn't that long ago where the Rams was just at SoFi hoisting that. We'll see how this goes, man.
Yeah, like I said, and you know, for McVay and the general manager, for them to pull this off, you know, kudos to them. Kudos for them aggressively being that pesky salesman. Hey man, hey, yeah, good over there. Hey, I'm just want to track. We track back, right? You know, hey, you good over there? Hey, you know, hey, you're knocking on the door again.
We was just in the neighborhood, just wanted to see if you need your grass cut. You know what I'm saying? Anything else that you need, yo, man. Oh, and by the way, yo, y'all ready to make that trade? Yeah. We know how this goes.
Right. Yep. Right up. Shout out to VLAC. Shout out to VLAC. Love VLAC, man. He said Spurs in 4. Spurs, VLAC, we'll get to that in a little bit, man. Also want to we'll get to hockey. I gotta remember to put it down. I saw some person
Canes,
on social
baby.
media,
Ain't nothing else to talk about. Canes, baby.
Shout out
to the Vegas. Shout out to VLAC and everybody in the comment fields, man. Shout out to y'all.
Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments, man. That's all we say. What about Cleveland, E? What about the Browns? The Browns, once again, they looking like they're restarting. They got a new coach there, so you know, they look like they want to retool. They got a quarterback. I guess carousel that they need to make a decision. So there's going to be some competition in camp. So we'll see about that. What do you think about the Cleveland side of this trade?
Well, like I said, man, it all depends on. First of all, it depends on this new the new coach and what type of culture that he's going to bring in. First and foremost, right? Secondly, is again, the Browns over the years have stockpiled a lot of talent. It just has not come to fruition because of they're the Cleveland Browns, number one, and number two, they really have not had the best when it comes to coaching and management things of that nature, right? So we have to see. But I will say, Kev, it's not like the Rams just kind of ski mash their way through this. They got a good young pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. It's not going to replace Myles Garrett, of course not. But you have somebody that's your youth movement right there. With all the guys that they already have on defense, he can come right in and you can move him around. We'll see what he does. And like I said, these 3 picks that they got, we'll see what they make of it. We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, you can clearly see. I forgot the coach's name offhand. I'll get it here in a second for Cleveland. But they're doing a reset, and if Myles Garrett was going to be, not saying he was a malcontent, but you know he wasn't going to the OTAs, and you know he's like, Dad, we starting over again. From the reports here from my main man here at the Orange Register, you know, like I said, they kept circling around the Rams. Hey, we caught them at a vulnerable moment, and then Cleveland's like, you know what? Before this goes any further into the rest of the season, let's just go ahead and just make this move. And they made this move, and like you said, man, they was able to checklist.
Todd Monken,
yeah, who came from
messing his name up. Todd,
yeah, Todd Monken, yeah, that came from I believe Baltimore, and you know they are now able to, like you said, we won't know what this trade really pans out and for a couple of years, right? And how it works, right? You know, the Rams catch a Super Bowl, you know what I'm saying? They had another dominant force. You said it before, Darnold a couple of years ago, right?
Right.
This is just like, so with defense, and you know, the Rams looks like they trade players right at the moment where they're good and they're like, nah, we won't pass on you, but we'll just make sure we're, what's the words I want to say?
Kev,
thank
you
you for everything.
Remind you of though?
The Patriot League.
The New England Patriots, yes, sir. As soon as you start to get real hot or real cocky or whatever, right before you get to that, oh, you about to get that contract, you're not gonna get it here, brother. We're gonna trade you on up out of here. So, hey, man, Bye-bye. It is what it is, man. That's big business, man. You can't be mad at that. It's both sides of this thing. So
that is big business, man, for sure, man. So wait for football season, man. Like I said, we're in June 1st here. We got July, and then we get, middle of July, end of July. Then you got the you got camp starting out, the real camp starting out, and then before you know it, September will be here, and we're talking football being played in everywhere else but the USA. But that's another story for another day. So the trade comes out to be one simple question. Are you building for tomorrow, or are you trying to win a championship today? The Browns choose tomorrow. The Rams choose today. We'll find out in a few years who's made the right decision. But one thing is certain, the NFC just got a whole lot more interesting. And again, I'll say this, not saying it again, it's like the Rams are trying to keep up with Seattle. That's one thing for sure. And that NFC West, that is going to be must-see football TV. Put it in the comments, Chase Nation. Go ahead, E.
I used to say that the NFC West was the best division in football. I have to push back on that. I think the NFC, depending on what Minnesota does, I think the NFC North is the best, right? Because at the last 2-3 years, I mean, they basically had 3 teams in the playoffs or whatever. And it would be the NFL West if the Cardinals can make a decision on who their quarterback is going to be and not have such a public scandal about that. But that's beside the point. I'm gonna say this, man. You say that they're keeping up with the Seahawks. I think they surpassed the Seahawks. The Seahawks no longer have their NFL Super Bowl MVP winning running back. Yes, they're still the Super Bowl champions. Okay, cool. But we've seen this before with the Rams. The year when they went to and got the Super Bowl, what did they do? They stockpiled everywhere that they could. So I feel like this is just the second of many, because they have made another trade. I was trying to find the gentleman that I can't remember who else they traded for, but this is just going to be the first to hit the Rams all through the season, making certain trades here and there just to solidify and add depth. And it's going to be, like you said, it's going to be must-see TV, of course. Seattle, San Francisco, the whole NFC North, how the Giants are going to do, how the Commanders going to bounce back, how far down the Cowboys are going to go, what Philadelphia, I'm segueing here for you, giving you the alley-oop. What the Philadelphia Eagles going to do moving forward? Yo, man, it's a lot to talk about. It's a lot to look for in the NFC. So.
Yep. Well, thank you, E. I appreciate that alley-oop pass. And this is from NFL.com, Kevin Patra. The Patriots trade for Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown in a blockbuster deal. This is like the worst kept secret. Sometimes championship teams make the hardest decisions. The Philadelphia Eagles are just traded away one of the most talented wide receivers in football only months after winning. The question isn't whether A.J. Brown is elite. We already know that. The question whether draft capital and financial flexibility are more valuable than keeping a superstar in the locker room, right? So speaking of blockbuster moves that we just talked about, that could reshape the NFL landscape for years to come, right? The Eagles and New England Patriots have officially pulled off one of the biggest trades in the offseason. I think the one that I just said before is a little bit, it's a little bit more teeth and juice in it with it. And we'll just talk about it real quick. So the Philadelphia Eagles have officially traded star wide receiver A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. The Pats are sending a 2028 first-round draft pick, a 2027 fifth-round draft pick to Philadelphia in exchange for Brown. The trade was expected to happen after June 1st because it significantly improves the Eagles' salary cap situation. Brown spent 4 seasons in Philadelphia and helped the Eagles win Super Bowl LIX, while becoming one of the franchise's most productive receivers. Reports indicate Brown had grown frustration with his role in the Eagles' offense during the 2025 season. Brown reunites with Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, who coached him during his years in Tennessee. New England immediately gives young quarterback Drake Maye a true number one receiving target. Philadelphia appears committed to a youth movement at receiver after adding multiple pass catching options this season. So I'll pass it around to me and you. Howie Roseman continues to prove he's one of the most aggressive and shrewd. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He's very shrewd when it comes to stuff. GMs, your thoughts on this move with the Eagles?
Yo, it was like we said before, like we said all throughout this past season. It was bound to happen at some point because of these reports here and there, and of course you can't go by everything that you hear or whatever. But usually when it's more than one person saying this and saying that, no, A. Brown never got into any trouble or anything like that. But it seems like when players become what's the word? When they become not attached to the team anymore, they're frustrated, they're this, they're that. Usually, depending on the what the player is, and usually we all know that receivers are the divas of the league. Yo, man, you're gonna get up out of here, man. I know DA, he's not here tonight. Salute to you, DA, but you was the one always talked about, leave AJ Brown alone. He's good there in Philadelphia. Well, obviously there was some structure, some structure that was not structured completely between Mr. Brown and the Philadelphia organization. So I'm gonna say this too. Is he elite? Obviously not, because everybody talking about, a guy of his caliber, you should get. I've been hearing today about, they should have got two first rounders or a first and a second and da 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 da. Well, this is what happens when leaks get out. They talk about how AJ Brown was frustrated and he seemed to have hijacked the offense. And you can tell, man, if you watch Philadelphia, if you watch football long enough, you can tell that there was something wrong with that offense. What's wrong? Why they not running the ball with this guy? Why it seemed like it was like some weeks he was not attached at all, and then you could tell where they was just basically trying to get him the ball. The man will have 4 targets this week, 12 targets the next week. You cannot have any consistency. I don't care if you just won a Super Bowl. You're not going to have any type of consistency going forward with your team. So now it's New England's issue. So we shall see how this goes. Usually, we have a change of environment. 9 times out of 10, a player of his caliber will go off, but we shall see. What say you, Kev?
I say this. You're absolutely right, man. They was absolutely trying to force. You can tell. I'm a Giants fan, and I see the Eagles twice a year, and you can tell some of the time they were just trying to force this needle or whatever they was trying to do to get him the ball. And I watched a lot of content of Philadelphia Eagles content, man, and some of those people were saying the same thing. It was kind of some kind of force thing, and I don't know all the inners, and maybe I got somebody that does Philadelphia sports. Maybe I need to get him on here to talk about this, man. But once the relationship is messed up, man, sometimes it's just unable to fix or repair it, man. And everybody made a big deal about him reading that book on the sideline, right? Which is pretty much the epitome of everything, right? They made that big deal, and he's like, "Yo, I do this all the time," right? That's showing somebody who's not engaged, whatever the case. And he does put in the about the that's the worst kept secret and the value and all that. And he said, yeah, Dirty Diana. I think that absolutely had a lot to play with it. You can say whatever you want, and what does one got to do with the other? It's insider trading as far as I'm concerned. But some people won't say it in the media. But that's fine. And that is fine. Yeah, she can tell you. Yeah.
Yeah. She can. She
Oh,
can
you
tell
just
you
gonna,
that and other things.
oh, you just gonna go keep piling on. No, we're not piling on because we haven't said nothing about a good month and a half.
It was nothing to talk about. I mean, the man just got traded, so of course we had to double back on it. I mean, come on, man. It is what it is, man.
Man, it is what it is, man. So, the
But Kev,
Eagles.
let's say this though. Let's say this. I've been looking around all day to see was there a trade market for AJ Brown. Obviously, the Patriots is the only one front and center that was willing to make this trade. Now, if this is a guy of this caliber, we knew that he was going to be available. Obviously,
Facts.
New England knew that he was going to be available. So what happened to these other 30 teams? 30, yeah. What happened to these other 28 teams? Yeah, I had it right. Anyway, why nobody's coming to get the services of AJ Brown? I'm sure there's a lot of teams that could use somebody of the caliber of an AJ Brown since he's so elite. And again, I'm not saying that being funny. The man can absolutely play when he wants.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Kev, that's AJ Brown. That's AJ Brown calling Kev right now, telling him to stop with the. Ain't nobody slandering your name, sir. We're just putting it out there, man. It is what it is, man.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know, man. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what AJ Brown, what he got going on, man. Let me go on to the other. I got two NFL stars. Like I said, the NFL was hot today, man. Only time will tell who truly wins this blockbuster deal. The Patriots are betting that AJ Brown can help elevate Drake Maye into an elite quarterback, while the Eagles are betting the smart roster building and future draft capital will keep them in championship contention. One thing is certain for sure: when these two teams take the field in 2026, all eyes will be on AJ Brown, and the NFL got a whole lot more interesting on that, man. Let me go to this other NFL story, which I couldn't believe. I don't know. I do know. Well, let me just read this because this is on a personal note, and this is from Kevin Patcher as well from the NFL.com. Sometimes in sports, the story isn't just what a player can still do on the field. It's about unfinished business. Odell Beckham Jr. helped put the Giants back on the national map over a decade ago. And now at age 33, both sides get another opportunity to see if they can finish a story that many fans believe never should have ended. Speaking of unfinished business, one of the most recognizable wide receivers in New York Giants history is officially coming home. Odell Beckham Jr. is back in Big Blue, and the NFL world is buzzing about this reunion. Could mean both players and the franchise. The New York Giants have officially signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a one-year contract, bringing him back to the franchise that drafted him back in 2014. Beckham returns 12 years after being selected by the Giants and 7 years after being traded away in one of the most controversial moves in franchise history. He was traded to the Browns. The Giants' decision comes after a rash of injuries at wide receiver, including a season-ending Achilles injury to Gunnar Olszewski and ongoing health concerns involving other receivers. And I'll have to cover that lately. There's rumors propagating that Harbaugh, he goes too hard with his practices, but we'll see. Beckham reportedly stated earlier this offseason that he never wanted to leave New York and he was hoping for another opportunity with the organization. During his first stint with the Giants between 2014 and 2018, Beckham recorded four consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons and became one of NFL's biggest stars. New York Giants head coach John Harbaugh previously coached Beckham with the Baltimore Ravens, helping facilitate the reunion. The Giants are also looks like they got Braxton Berrios and Juju Smith-Schuster to bolster their depleted receiving core as well. At age 33, Beckham is no longer the explosive superstar who made the iconic one-handed catch, if y'all remember that. But the Giants believe he can provide veteran leadership and depth, man. So, E, I'll pass it to you before you pass it back to me. Your thoughts on that?
I'll say this, man. We all know what Odell Beckham was before injuries, right? This man can absolutely catch the ball. He can razzle-dazzle you. He can be open when you think he's not open. And honestly, Giant fans, don't come at me. Pause for what I'm about to say. Put it in the comment field anyway, right? Odell Beckham, dare I say, has made quarterbacks with with his play on the field. Okay, yeah, I said it. I'm not saying that he made Eli. I'm not saying, but he did make him look good, and other quarterbacks that he's played with. Now, at this tender age of 33 years old, as D-Dub said, Odell did not play not one down last year. Well, that means he's fresh. And I'm not saying that the Giants have made this move unlike other sports organizations. They don't bring an older guy in for him to be the be all do all for their team. Odell Beckham, at least in my opinion, should be able to come in and coach, tell them about how to train their bodies or whatever. He's been through almost any and every injury that there is, and has come back. So they need that veteranship going forward. To help not only coach the young guys, but also to help Lord, I don't forgot his name that quick. Dart.
Yeah, Jackson.
So
Dart.
I could see Beckham being a third down receiver on certain pass plays when need be or whatever. He knows how to get open. So man, I don't see. I mean, they're not they're not looking for Odell Beckham to be the number one receiver and to go out there and put up another 1,000, 1,200 yards receiving and 10, 13 touchdowns or whatever. That's not the case. If you do get that, then hey, that's one hell of a redemption story. But I think this is a good move for New York going forward. That's Eli Manning call. I'm just putting it out there, man. You ain't got to call, man. Put it in the comments. But nah, all jokes aside, man, I think this is a good move for New York. It's a good move for OBJ. Not to say that he's going to rewrite the quote unquote wrongs of why he was traded in the first place. We're not. It has nothing to do with that, man. People will say, well, he shouldn't have left in the first place. Yo, man, people get traded every time. I mean, it is what it is. This is business at the end of the day. So,
yeah, D-Dubs. Yeah, D-Dubs had put in the comments. I think I read in my opening to this segment to this story here that the Giants wide receiver core they're suffering a little bit. Like I said, Neighbors is he's recovering from his ACL. Then you got Wesky. He just went out. He tore his Achilles, man. So they're a little depleted, and at that position here, man. So we'll see. As far as hold on a second, DA. Hold on. As far as Odell Beckham coming back, right? Like you said, he comes back. He becomes a possession receiver, and he does some of the leadership stuff. You know, he's 33 years old. He's a little bit older. You know, a little bit long in the tooth, as they say. You know, if Giants fans, you're thinking he's going to recapture that with what happened when he got drafted? Nah, the dude's 33 years old, man. So I'm not having that expectation, man. You know what I'm saying? Be a locker room leader. They got him for the 1 year. You know, I feel good about that. So hopefully it works out as a Giant fan. So absolutely. DA, go ahead, bro. How are you? Good afternoon, sir. How are you today?
Hey, man.
what's up?
I'm tired, man. Hey, what's up, brother? Listen, I ain't got no problem with Odell Beckham and Schuster and y'all got the old folks game, but and the wide receiver core. But I do believe at a point in time that it can become, though they're probably not spending a lot of money.
They're not.
But this is a salary cap business, and you like to think to yourself, why couldn't they find a young receiver or some young receivers, not only in the draft, but a lot of dudes don't get drafted that are really good,
undrafted, correct,
that they could have picked up to kind of better this situation. I think that the Odell Beckham thing is a New York thing. I think it's a get our names in the paper thing, because he's not going to do anything any better than a 19-year-old kid named Kevin Warren that's a wide receiver that came out of Boston College, you know what I'm saying, or somewhere else. He can't, like long term, he's not going to give you more because he's 33 years old.
Right.
Now, I remember Hardball doing this in Baltimore. Like, he would bring in a big name receiver, but he would get nothing. Hollywood Brown, this one, that one, every year. and would get absolutely positively nothing out of it. But again, your world, brother. Do what you're gonna do. I think it puts name on the paper, whatever. I don't have anything against Odell. I thought if he would have if the Rams would have won that Super Bowl, he would have been.
People
No, if he
forget
hadn't got hurt, he'd
talk
have been
about
the
it.
MVP. He'd have been the MVP of that Super Bowl had he not gotten hurt. Those are facts. In his prime, the dude could straight up ball. But don't know off the court, off the field stuff, what he's been into. I don't know what shape the dude's in. But that's not my business, right? That's what the scouting department's supposed to do. And Kev, I say that all the time: scout, coach. Everybody has their own job to do, and the hierarchy of a football team. But just saying, I'm not mad at it. But I know with the wide receiver room, you would rather your room get younger than older.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this, because D-Dub put it in the comments. I know we talked about it amongst ourselves. Deebo Samuels, he remains unsigned, and it looks your thoughts about that? Maybe why the Giants?
Well,
go ahead.
I don't know, man.
More money.
Deebo's my man, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I could get him on the cheap, I think probably Purdy would like him for the the familiarity of it,
yes,
of the situation, right? But at the end of the day, me, I love you, but I don't love you for that price, right? He got his big check. If he's not willing to come down on it, he's going to be a free agent until sometime, maybe right after the season starts or really close to the season, because he'll be waiting, like, Odell and those guys, to see what team has wide receivers get hurt in the preseason, and then he can come in there and get some money. He'll stay in shape because he does that. I think he's a good player, but for what he did for us, that double role, as you get older, you get worse at that.
Yes.
So, I got no problem with Deebo, but remember, he went to Washington last year for the bag, and if he's out of there, evidently something went wrong. Something was not right in
the money,
Washington.
brother.
Yeah, so him and
again,
Terry couldn't work it out. All right,
we talked about it earlier, man. And we're gonna get your take on AJ here in a minute, but it's the same thing I feel about AJ Brown. If you're that guy, and it's something, and let's be clear before I say that, we all know that you can be that guy, but for the amount of money that you may be asking for, you may not be that guy for several teams.
There you go.
Throw that out there. Okay.
Facts.
So, but I feel like the same thing with Deebo, is that this man has been injured a couple of games, like the last 3 seasons now, and they made him into this gadget player, and as you said, he's not getting any younger. That stuff wears on your body. And I thought Washington,
for those running back,
honestly, caught a steal last year when they got him, but obviously he's already a free agent. And I'm like, you're not trying to bring him back, and it's not. You already had McLaurin was already banged up last year, so you just going to give up on this guy? It got to be another reason. So
because you think about it, right? And I'm not going to belabor the point, but dude's getting running back carries, and he didn't want to do that in Washington because they didn't put him in. I think he argued against that because in San Francisco they had him running the ball. He's out there punt returns. Listen, Harbaugh. Shanahan was like, "Listen, dog, if you're gonna be here, you're gonna do it all." And he got to Washington, say, "Yeah, I'm just a wide receiver, whatever it is." He didn't run the ball. He didn't do this. He didn't do that. So he can't come back to us. Yeah, he can't come back to us being brand new. He got to come back to us being brand old. So that's what the Niners.
Brand old.
We're not. Yeah, brand old. Like, dog, you got to do what you used to do when you was here before. And if you're not willing to do that, it's fine. We're not willing to pay for you. That's all that is, period. Now, because I think he would probably be what's the word? It would be refreshing to see. He give McCaffrey and the other running back a break. We could do a few things in the slot. But listen, dog, we don't need no gadget players, man. This thing here getting serious out here in these NFL streets, man.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all right.
Yes, sir.
NFC West is the best division in football.
Yes, so I
Point
went
blank
to
period. And right now, it's only getting harder. Only getting harder.
Are they still the best division in football, DA?
Yeah, I think we are. I still think we are because we got the Super Bowl
The,
champs.
the, NF, the NFC North has no say in it.
Not with Kyler being the quarterback in Minnesota. They don't. And Detroit and Detroit's quarterback, hey, they showed some flaws last year.
Facts.
Point blank period. They showed some game time coaching and tactical flaws last year in games that they should have won that they lost. Now I can throw up Chicago, right? But let's keep it funky. Great team, good team. But they won a lot. They won 3 or 4 games on some Hail Marys. You're like, oh, okay, well, they might have lost those games, but they was in those games to win them, and they won them, right? But a few of those passes that Caleb threw, I was like, he better not throw next year.
Better not.
He had better not throw next year because he wasn't even looking at the receiver when he threw it. All right? So, and again, it's like basketball or boxing. Like, they had a book on Caleb his first year, but every defensive coordinator has a book on Caleb right now. So we'll see how he reacts and what he does with, when people know and have looked at every step you have taken over the last few years on the field, so when you look this way, they know you're doing this, and when you're doing this, when that film comes out and everybody's got your name in that film, I think Caleb's a great quarterback, and I know he's going to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But I just don't think that division. And I love Jordan Love too. I think they may probably come out to be the best team in that division next year, if their running back is not in jail. Right. So I think they'll be fine. Because they have a really, really good team. So, but I still think that the Niners, Rams, and Seattle, and we'll see what happens in Arizona, because you can't do that because you got a running game. So at the end of the day, you got running games and 2 wide receivers.
Men in a truck.
Yeah, I know.
2 men in the truck. That's all I'm gonna say.
But you know what happens? You know what happens, man? When everybody else starts thinking 2 men in the truck, you start to sneak up on dudes. And depending on how hard your schedule is, you may be able to get some things. You know what I'm saying? Move some things. Because, hey, the 3 teams in front of them, right? One of those teams is going to get hit by the injury bug because it always happens. So it'll either be the Rams, it'll be Seattle, or the Niners. Now, last year, the Niners, it was us. We got hit hard. Somebody's going to get hit because somebody always gets hit. Stafford, God bless. I'm not saying I want this to happen, but he's always two hits or one stretch from being out. So
yeah.
it's a long time to the season, man. But I think it's this is where coaches get their money, man. They got to start to figure out what they're going to do for these players that are moving around, and we'll see who's good at it because you have to be good at it to make it work. So,
gotcha.
True.
Appreciate the deal. Let me go on to the next. Like I said, the NFL that was very hot as far as when it comes to news. Let me go to Kevin Patrick again with NFL.com. Sports fan, we may have witnessed just the unofficial end of one of the most fascinating quarterback careers of the last 15 years. Russell Wilson isn't officially retiring, but when a future Hall of Famer quarterback chooses a studio desk over the NFL sideline, it tells you a lot about where his career stands. The bigger question is, did the NFL move on from Russell Wilson, or is Russell Wilson simply moving on from the NFL? Russell was playing a couple weeks ago. I was just going through my TV one night, and he was with the Savannah Bananas. So we'll say that.
Well, Russell's a hell of an athlete, man.
Yes.
And he was a hell of a baseball player. He could play. So he actually was on a major league team. He can play. I think I'm gonna tell you what Russell's doing based upon what I've seen. And Kevin, I told you this years ago about your boy got there on NFL Network and got to the Hall of Fame, right? So he said if Kurt can do it, I'm gonna get me a job at the desk for a few years, because he was a Hall of Famer until the last 2 years, and dude started really crapping on his name. Like, real talk. In the last 2 years, dudes was like really disrespectful, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, Russell, not remembering the first few years, him, going to the Super Bowl, him being a part of this great Super Bowl team, and the next few years letting Russell cook, where we said we had to give credit.
He took
that
the money.
if you're going to take the money, then you got to take him to the playoffs. And Russell cooked. He ran around that field like a madman, running, throwing, doing whatever he could to help them win, and they won. Got to the playoffs.
They won.
Russell cooked. So we can't say he didn't do that. So I think he's a Super Bowl, and if you look at his numbers, he is a Super Bowl worthy quarterback. So I think, like the process, you trust on the process. You get a job with a station, you do your talking points, you get people to love you, and then you get Hall of Fame, and that's what he wants. And he's smart move. It's a smart move, and I like Russell. So never didn't like Russell. That dude can ball. I liked him in North Carolina State and Wisconsin. So watch his whole career.
We had a nickname for him, but we won't call him his nickname now because of we won't call him that.
Yeah,
no. Yes, Dan, we got on our Nick gear. Yes, we do. Thank you. We appreciate you, sir. Yes, we're loud and proud. DA, real quick, let me double back to AJ Brown and Myles Garrett. Your thoughts on those trades? Start with Myles Garrett first with the Rams.
So what? Give me the full particulars on Myles.
Okay, let me give you.
Who is he being traded for?
Okay, let me just hold on. Let me go back up here to my.
But they said the Rams. Right.
Yeah. So Myles Garrett goes to the Rams. He's and then Cleveland Browns receive Jared Verse, and then they get he's a 20. They get a 2027 first round pick, 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third round pick, along with Verse, who's one of the brightest pass rushers in the game. Right.
Yeah. Look, this is subtraction by addition, bro. I know they say it the other way around, and I'm going to say this as a Niners fan, keeping it funky with you. With Mr. Garrett, the reality is, as great as he is, and he is absolutely great, you know where he's coming from. You know where he's rushing from. He only lines up in one spot. He's going to be on the left against your left tackle, beating the hell out of him. But guess what? Our left tackle is Trent Williams. So if that's the case, listen, man, you're going to win some, we're going to win some. For us. Now, the losing Jared Verse thing is this. Jared Verse stopped the run, rushed him all over because he was a linebacker. He wasn't a defensive lineman. He was a linebacker and rushed from all over the place. And he covered receivers. So I think, with that being said, I don't think that's really an addition for the Rams. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Niners fan, because I am a fan of Myles Garrett. But just looking at the players and the years of guys that they got, I'm still kind of on some, I don't see that, B. I really don't, man. I really don't. And that's not for Jared Verse, man.
Correct.
Because Jared Verse is worked out with what's your boy name? What's the guy's name that used to be the tackle for the Rams? His name is slipping me right now. He's Hall of Famer, man. The short dude, man, from Pittsburgh.
Aaron Donald.
Man. Golly, I'm sorry.
Donald.
Yeah, Aaron Donald, man. Like, I'm telling you, B, like, this dude is going to be so serious, man. We said it coming out of Florida State. What'd he do?
What'd he do? You're right.
What'd he do? And if you watch the game, he rushes the passer from anywhere. And he stops the run. And he covers routes. I'm like, yo, dog, what? Okay. I mean, listen, I'm telling you, I love Garrett, but he's only going to be in one spot. And for us, it ain't that bad because I got Trent Williams as my left tackle, who's not a slouch. He's a Hall of Famer. So for me, I'm not that mad. But if you don't have Trent, yeah, I can see you being a little upset, because he is going to get you. He's going to get his sacks. He will get his sacks. And especially if they get up, if the Rams get up and score, if Puka is back and, they got to get him right. And there's no guarantee on getting him right, but they got to get Puka right. But, the Rams have a lot of issues right now they got to take care of because they don't even have another receiver outside of Puka right now. Right? Didn't they let the old dude go? What's his name? That was the other receiver that played at
you talking about Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he still there?
Devontae.
Yeah,
I thought he was
still there.
I think he's still.
All right,
yeah, I think he's still there.
That's good then. That's good. They're gonna need him to get Puka head right. They gotta get Puka head right, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm really not I'm a fan of the trade. I'm a fan of the guys. I'm just looking at it from my perspective. I'm like, wow, that's wow to me. So, and AJ, it's.
Let's go to AJ. You need the particulars on that? Let me give you the particulars on AJ Brown real quick, sir. So the Philadelphia Eagles have officially traded star wide receiver AJ Brown to the New England Patriots. The Pats are sending a 2028 first-round draft pick, a 2027 fifth-round draft pick to Philadelphia in exchange for Brown. The trade was expected to happen after June 1st. I said it. E said it. D-Dub said in the comments, this was the worst-kept secret in football.
I'm yeah, this one is like this one here is the NFL, getting caught with, there's so much around this trade, man. It's not right.
Insider
trading.
Yes.
This woman, and this coach, and everybody acts like that shit didn't happen, and it happened. And, that kind of led to this guy being traded, I think, because and there may have been some beef behind closed doors. I don't know. I'm not in the locker room. But I didn't see no beef on the field between the players. They all acted, the right way. Although, a reporter said, oh, man, he was had his head down. Or come on, you're fucking the other guy, the other coach. I can't hear nothing you got to say. For real. Like, I can't hear nothing you got to say about that man. Being honest, so I wish him luck. He's a good receiver. The quarterback from the Patriots is with the school with my son. So, I got no problem with Mr. Maye, and I hope things work out because that team is not as good as it was to get to the Super Bowl last year, and they're going to take a dip this year.
Yeah, facts.
Guaranteeing you they're going to take a dip this year. Why? Because they're going to have a harder schedule. And their coach is going to be preoccupied, bro. Yeah. Right? Not when I say preoccupied, I mean preoccupied.
Yeah, you gotta go to counsel.
Because he got a whole wife and family at home that knows everything he did, and now they got to deal with that. Right? That's not over yet. Like, it's all because it's not in the papers don't mean it's over. So,
right.
Yeah, he got a whole wife and a family that got to deal with him going on vacations with the TV lady. So I don't think this season will be that.
You guys just keep piling on this lady. Keep piling on.
Well, she kept piling on him.
We're not the ones piling. We are not the ones piling, brother.
She looks like she's the one piling. She's the one piling on. Wasn't me piling on. She was up there piling on that Vrabel. Jumping on that Vrabel, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, go ahead.
Not that table. On that Vrabel. She gonna jump on that Vrabel, not that table.
Oh, you stupid.
We need to move on.
She put things on the Vrabel. She said, I'm gonna put some things on the Vrabel. It doesn't sit there for a little while.
Yeah, but it was worst kept secret. It was insider trading, whether people want to believe it or not. Absolutely, and like DA said, man, the valuation of him. And Eric said it, and the angry one said it a few minutes ago before you came on. He said, "Yo, was there really a market for AJ Martin?"
They had to make one. And AJ can play. Like he's
yes, absolutely.
And exactly,
Yo, listen,
he can play.
Listen, I watched the game against Minnesota last year, right? This is the game that I think Philadelphia beat the slap hell out of Minnesota, right? So, and I'm sitting there, right? It's an early game, 1 o'clock, you know, and everybody's saying, "Oh man, they got so many problems," and da 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 da. And then the first play, second play, touchdown, AJ, get the ball back, da da da. Saquon runs for blah blah blah, touchdown, Slim Reaper. You know, I'm like, what the hell? I said, these guys ain't got no damn problems. But we know that she put them problems on the dribble. So that's all.
Oh, but he was reading a book at the sidelines.
So what? Shoot, say he was the book of prayers or something. You don't know what he's reading. Come on, man.
Yeah, okay. That's so funny, man.
Yeah, she put it all on the Vrabel.
But I will say, DA, hold on. We will say now, at least from my two eyeballs, and Kev said the same thing, that there were times where it seems like they were forcing the ball to AJ because he seemed disconnected the week 4. Had you seen anything like that during the season in your perspective?
I thought that they do some passes to him that maybe they shouldn't have thrown to him. Right? But it's also, this is the part, and I'll go back to you, Eric, on your thing, keeping it real funky. Dog, this is the 7th offensive coordinator the kid has had in 7 years.
Agree.
So maybe Jalen didn't have it right. Because the quarterback had to throw it. And I'm not saying putting blame on Drake on him, but I'm saying, come on, man. Another offensive coordinator last year, brand new. Every year dudes rocking with the brand new heavies. Every year.
I will say this. How many times on the show did I say Saquon does not look right? I don't know if he's hurt or what the case may be. Of course, a brand new offensive coordinator can change things up.
Offensive line ain't got this. Yeah. This ain't got that. That ain't no.
Yeah.
No. Play calling was off. All right.
And that goes to show you that goes to show you that no matter how much talent, collective talent that you have on any team, if you don't have the right management for that talent, it's not going to go anywhere.
Wasn't a good offense, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, all I'm saying is, and listen, he's won the Super Bowl only having 1 year of a good offense. So Jalen's a hell of a quarterback. But I think those plays that, and this is taking the outside heat that he does, I think he's a hell of a quarterback. I don't think that you can get on the kid for that, man. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, every year he has a different coordinator. So, yeah, I think he threw some bad passes to that man. I think he threw some bad passes to the Slim Reaper and to the tight end. Because I don't think the offense, it didn't feel right. The whole offense didn't feel right. But they got a new receiver, and I think this O coordinator will be there for a year, 2. So maybe they'll have a little bit more sync, I guess. I all I can guess is that. But yeah, I get that from my man, the angry one. And because we both like the quarterback from Auburn that was a quarterback at Washington, Mr. Campbell, right? Campbell?
Jason
Campbell had like 8 offensive coordinators, dog. He could never get it right.
He always referenced him as
in
one
like
of the
5 years.
And even when he played right, it was because of him, not the coordinator. Yeah, it was, in spite of them. So, I got to give these quarterbacks some credit when they keep changing offensive coordinators. And yeah, everything's going to look a little bit disjointed. Yes, it will. Yes. And this is the thing that the Sports Chasers has to bring to light, because ESPN, Fox and these other guys will go ahead with a story downing dudes without actually going into the content of, the context rather of, oh yeah, but this guy is a first year for our offensive coordinator with this team. So, maybe things are not going to be 100%, this year. So that's all. That's the way I look at it.
Gotcha. Let me move on to Major League Baseball here. Hey, this reports back. Well, let me just go forward. This is from Eric Fisher of Front Office Sports. Baseball may be headed towards its bigger labor battle in more than 30 years. The owners say a salary cap creates competitive balance, while the players say it's nothing more than a pay cut disguised as fairness. The question is simple. Are owners trying to save baseball or save money? Tonight, we're diving into a story that could impact every Major League Baseball player, every franchise, and possibly the future of the sport itself. The MLB Players Association says a proposed salary cap will cost players more than $500 million. We're going to break it down here. The MLB Players Association conducted an analysis of MLB proposed salary cap system. According to the union, players would have earned over $500 million less in total compensation if the proposal had been in effect this season. The players strongly oppose a salary cap. MLB remains the only major North American sport league without a salary cap. MLBPA interim executive director Bruce Meyer called the proposal worse than the owner's 1994 proposal, a major step backward for players' earnings, one of the least favorable systems for players among major professional sports leagues. And then they say this escrow system is a major concern. The owner's proposal includes an escrow system, right? Escrow would allow a portion of players' salaries to be withheld and adjusted based on league revenues. Similar systems exist in the NBA and the NHL. The MLBPA says this will weaken the value of guaranteed contracts and create uncertainty for players. So the owner's position, check this out, MLB owners are proposing a hard salary cap, approximately $245 million, a salary cap floor of $171 million, a 50-50 revenue split between owners and players. Owners argue the system would improve competitive balance, help smaller market teams compete. Have you been looking at baseball lately? I'll wait. Address fans.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Address fans with concerns regarding payroll disparities. I'll keep waiting. Potential labor war brewing. The current collective bargaining agreement expires on December 1st, 2026. And that's pretty much it. I'll toss it to E. We covered this on this past Saturday on the Chasers Dugout Report with our resident MLB expert Alvin Clausen, and we broke it down. Make sure you check out that episode. But we were talking about a floor on Saturday and how I think, what was this, DA? I think half the 3/4 of the teams now, they're not doing this floor as it is.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just do it now? If you could do it, right? If it's such a good damn idea, why aren't you at the floor today?
And we know that these teams can do it, right? Because I think me and Dan always talk about the sports chasers have shamed the Pittsburgh Pirates and their owner of spending some money, right? All of a sudden, the Pirates started spending some money on personnel on the field.
Well, they got the money. That's not a problem.
Right.
That's just what they willing to spend it on. That's all the money's there. So
yeah, but
absolutely.
But go ahead, DA. Go ahead. What's your take on what?
I'm gonna say real quick because I got to go talk to my you know who. But
yeah,
listen, man, we talked about this Saturday, right? This whole myth that a salary cap is going to mean better playing is a lie. The money got nothing to do with it, man. It's what you want to do as a team. Yeah, you can have all types of like we always say. Today's dollar is not tomorrow's dollar. So you could do all kind of stock, whatever with someone's salary, kind of like an Otani thing where we'll give you the money later on and all the rest of those things with the salary, whatever we owe you goes up with the salary number and the present value of $1. All that is great, man. But you could do that anyway. None of these things are going to force you to do that. If you want to spend money on your team to get better, you can do so. And if you don't want to, then you won't. You know, we discussed this Saturday that a salary cap will not necessarily bring you a great team. Scouting, coaching, developing will bring you a great team. Period. We need to stop putting the game out here to people to think that, oh, well, if you do that, you know, we'd be great. You know, the teams that are really good that spend money are not just good because they spend money. That was shown last year in the World Series. You know, the defense, the way the Dodgers play defense. You got a dude now on the Dodgers that may win the Cy Young and the MVP.
Hey, yo. DA, you there? Did we miss DA?
Yeah, I'm on the way. Hold on, man.
He's on the way. Go ahead, E. Did you finish? Go ahead, E. I think DA got to go.
Nah, I was just gonna say, man, is that really going to make baseball better? Look, man, you're in a good place right now. Look, we talk about Pittsburgh not spending. People talk about the Dodgers spending too much. Yo, man. Last time I checked, the Tampa Bay Rays is in first place in the AL East. They don't spend a whole lot of money.
Wait, what do they do, E?
Look at the whole NFC. Look at the whole National League Central Division. Outside of the Cubs, who's really spending money like that? Okay, exactly. And they're all in tension. So, yo, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Leave the whole salary talk. I think that's more so the fans than anything else. Yeah, you must be listening to people in there, looking in their comments and stuff like that, man. But at the end of the day, it's not going to make or break. It's not going to make or break baseball. It's the talent that you have on the field, how you, like DA said, how you scout, how you develop, and all that other stuff, man. So, if you feel like you have to spend money to be competitive, then you might want to look. You might want to look at yourself in the mirror and see what exactly is going on with your organization. You have to spend a whole lot of money to be competitive. You don't. Maybe you just build a team and you build it from the ground up with the right foundation. Then you will always have a team that is competitive. And then you may spend a few bucks here and there to keep a guy or to bring a guy from another team that you think is going to put you over the hump.
Great. Great.
Yeah.
Listen, 1994, I remember like it was yesterday. The Players Association says we're never going to do this. And I will keep on reiterating, and I know this for a fact because I'm part of one now, and I've been a part of unions pretty much all my whole adult life. Major League Baseball Players Association is the strongest union on this planet called Earth.
By far.
Right. And if they try to do this, implement this salary cap thing, we're not gonna have baseball. And I know Al told us all on Saturday, hey, enjoy baseball, man. But with this coming out today, Al, I don't know, bro. If you're watching, this is gonna be tough, man, because yes, there's the business portion and also what's on the field, and this is a big deal, man. And you know, they went and got somebody, they paid money. They paid some actuary, they paid somebody to do a study on how much they would lose. So they got their ammunition ready and waiting, and all they're trying to do right now is just drum up support. Both sides are supposed to drum up support in the air of public opinion. And that's all, the owners are crying, say, "Oh my God, we can't continue like this. This is astronomical." And the players are saying, "Nope, you guys got it. This will cut out thing. Hey, you guys don't even spend the money that you got, man. So, I don't know. Well, I do know. If this doesn't get solved, this is probably going to be the same type of deal like in '94, in which I hate because because Major League Baseball is on a really, really good run of lately. Go ahead, E.
That's what I was going to ask you. I'm going to give you the floor. In your humble opinion, baseball is your first love. With this trajectory that they have now as a sport, if there is a lockout after this season, is baseball able to come back, in your opinion?
It's going to be kind of like, 90, 96 all over, 95, 96 all over again, man. They got to start all over again. And what happened when they started all over again? They started bringing back gimmicks, not gimmicks, but, letting players do what?
Yeah.
Chicks dig the long ball. Because people were fed up. There was other stops. I think 1981, if you remember that stop. And I'm all about employees getting their money and getting their fair due and all this stuff. I really am, because I'm one myself, man. You want to get a fair contractual negotiation, right? And both sides to do what, collectively bargain in a fair manner, right? One side's not going to get the most, the other side's not to get it, but you got to meet somewhere in the middle. And this salary cap, man, I'm telling you this right now, that the Players Association, if I was to probably go in their office, it's probably like a plaque on the wall that says, never will this happen, or something like that. Not that I've been in the Major League Baseball Players Association before anybody said, oh, he's never been in there.
Right. Right.
I'm just imagining. So relax, take it easy. Oof. So
I think that they will, but it's going to be a lot longer than what they had to go through back in '95, man. Only because of the landscape of how digest sports now. You know what I'm saying? Baseball was finally getting back on track. You know what I'm saying?
It is,
and to have something like this happen, you backpedaling, and like you said, you got to start all the way over from scratch, and then you got to build the fan base. Yeah, you're gonna. Let's be clear. The diehard baseball fans are gonna be there. The casuals are gonna be out the door, and then you're gonna spend all this time trying to get these casuals back. I hope it doesn't happen, man. To be honest, man, I really hope.
They can come somewhere in the middle. We got till December, right? It's June 1st, right? So we got roughly 5 months, and they can work something out, man. Because it's a big deal, man. It's a big deal, man. Let me go to the close. I don't think Ryan is going to be with us. Or Ryan might be traveling or whatever. But let me go to the close. I know it said it on the thumbnail, but in the NFL, they done grabbed the headlines, man. So, and Major League Baseball, man. But hey, we got our Knicks stuff. Hey, the NBA.
You see it?
You're right. Put it in the comments. Knicks fan, put it in the comments. Spurs fan, put it in the comments, man. Who you riding with? Who you rocking with? Who's going to win what and all that stuff. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. But let me just recap this past the Thunder, the OKC Thunder. They are no longer the champs. They got knocked off by the San Antonio Spurs this past Sunday night, man. And the Spurs now are the winners. So I'm trying to look for my notes here. Spurs go to OKC and dethrone the defending champs. First finals trip since 2014 ensures a new champion for the 8th straight season. So all you NBA people that love parity, here you go. For the 8th straight season, we're going to have a different champ. Wembyama, he had 22 points, 7 rebounds. Julian Champagne, he had 20 points. SGA 35 points, and he couldn't do it. I hear a lot of SGA, he couldn't get it done and all that stuff, man. But we wasn't looked at 20. What's the man that's making a lot of money? Chet Holmgren. We need to look at him and his.
That's the new Charles Smith right there, ladies and gentlemen. But go ahead, Kev.
The Spurs led for 92% of the game, up 12 with 3:45 left. OKC cut it to 6 late, but ran out of time. It looks like they ran out of gas too. Some of the signature play, if you saw this around Luke Cornett around the 6-minute mark with a huge chase down block on Hartenstein to kill OKC momentum. If you saw that, definitely a textbook play. Pattern all year when Wemby outplayed SGA, the Spurs won. And hey, they're the Western Conference champs. They faced my New York Knicks on this coming Wednesday. San Antonio has home court advantage. E, your thoughts on that game before you toss it back to me?
I'm gonna just say this, man. Let's all remember that the Oklahoma City was not at full strength.
Correct.
Their other top guy,
J-Dub was out.
J-Dub was out, man.
Dub was out.
And to be honest, Chet Holmgren, you was an all-star this year, sir. Where were you? Where were you? You only took 2 shots. How do you only take 2 shots at home in a game 7? How do you do that? How is he? I don't really pay attention to a whole lot of the media, especially with everything that's been going on in the other sports, whatever. I haven't heard a whole lot. I did hear some Chet, I don't want to say slander, but they was getting on him or whatever, and rightfully so. You are an all-star, sir. You're getting paid quite a lot. But it is what it is, man. The Spurs play hard. they play hard. At times they had nothing to do. Look, they had nothing to do with Wemby, right? But you can't. What we always say, you can't let the others get off. Champagny hit you with 6 threes. You also had Fox here and there. You had Castle here and there. You had Harper had 12. You had Johnson with 11. You can't let these other guys get off, man. And people can say what they want about SGA with the flopping and all this other stuff. The man had a phenomenal year. He had a phenomenal game 7. But just like we always say, this is a team sport. You can't get it done by yourself. So, salute to San Antonio. This is just a misstep by Oklahoma City. They will be back in the running next year and for years to come. I'm not worried about that team at all. It's just all about. I know you asked about the Western Conference, but it's all about the Knicks, man. It's all about the Knicks at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm gonna give the floor to our Ryan is on set, man. Yo, Ryan, what's going on with you, brother?
Before we
What's up, fellas?
Hold on.
What's good?
What's up?
Play that music.
Oh, I forgot about the intro.
It's all good, man. Shout out to the intro, man.
What's up, Ryan? What's up, man? We were just surmising the Western Conference on Game 7 in their series, man. Go ahead with your thoughts on that series before. Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, my thoughts on the Game 7, right? I thought both teams played their game. What I was most impressed about was the composure that the Spurs played with. And when I say composure, I mean they're young guys. You would think in a Game 7 of this magnitude, they would feel some pressure, but that's what Wemby does for you, man. He calms you down. He has your back. If you miss a defensive assignment, he's there. What I took from the game was everybody who stepped on the court for San Antonio all contributed. Some the same way that everybody in this Knicks run in the playoffs. Everybody who steps on the floor contributes. Everybody played a part in that victory yesterday. Because I think 2 of the biggest moments of the game was when the Spurs jumped on them, got the lead.
Yep.
OKC comes back because OKC always comes back, and they're at home. And OKC takes a 4-point lead with like a minute and 20 seconds left before the half, takes a 4-point lead. And then in a minute, in like a minute and a half, the Spurs go on a 7-0 run. They had an answer for every run that OKC did. And when I say an answer, not meaning, okay, OKC's coming back and they make a big shot. I mean, it was a big shot. It was a big defensive play. And then the other big part of the game to me that highlighted the game where everybody contributed was Cornette.
Yes, I just mentioned that before you came on, Ryan. I don't know.
Yeah, what was Cornette like? The lead was, I believe it was a 6-point game. OKC's battling back. It's a 6-point game. OKC gets a steal. Hartenstein gets a steal, and it has a breakaway. And out of nowhere, here comes Cornette with just a fantastic block. And what I liked about it the most was the bench, the reaction to the bench of him making that play. If you see him going back to the bench, everybody's high-fiving, everybody's believing. It's just it was great to see. I thought those were two best moments of the game, was because I think mentally, and I'm not saying they would have, but I think mentally, for as good as San Antonio played in that first half, and if they didn't have a lead going into that halftime, when OKC comes all the way back and takes a 4-point lead, for them to go up by 3, I think was big for their psyche, man. I really do. And everybody contributed. You saw Fox. Fox is starting to look healthy again. And I think Fox is the key. I think Fox is the key for them, because especially in the next series against the Knicks, you're going to need Fox because he has a lot of playoff experience. He's their vet who actually, who plays. You have Harrison Barnes there, but Harrison Barnes' minutes are kind of down. But Fox is going to have to control the game on the offensive end and make timely shots. Because remember, he was also voted one of the, I want to say 3 years ago, the Clutch Player of the Year. And Brunson was Clutch Player of the Year last year, I believe. So that's what I take out of the game. Now, on that's for the Spurs side. For OKC side, listen, there's no shame, because I believe if they were healthy, they win. I really do. I think if Jalen Williams played, they win. It's hard to win in the playoffs not having your second best player. It just is. When you're at this level, and also not having Mitchell, so that's their second and third best ball handlers to get in order as far as creating their own shots and getting their own shots. And Chet. I'm not saying he played bad. He didn't give himself a chance. It's not that he played bad. He just didn't give himself a shot. Like, taking 2 shots is just. You can't do that when you're missing Mitchell and you're missing Williams. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
No, you're good. And I was just gonna say, I got to give you credit. Since you've been on here, you always say, "Hey, the healthiest team at the end of the finish line, they usually win it all."
Of course.
Yes. J-Dub, he was hurt. He couldn't. That injury he's got is just a nagging one, and it just wasn't going to be. And and like I said. Like he said about SGA, man. Yes, he did what he can, but you ain't got your horses with you, man. It's just hard, man. It's just hard.
Right. When you get to that level of competition, man, we like I said, we see it all the time, man. It's the marathon of it all. Who can stay the healthiest? Or who can overcome somebody being out? And we're going to see it in the finals. How healthy is Mitchell Robinson going to be? Even though he plays, 15 minutes, 19 minutes a game? That's an important 15, 19 minutes. Yes, super important, especially against Wemby. And so we'll see how it happens. Now, like I said, Fox looks like he's turned the corner and looks healthy now. The layoff have you guys, sweeping Cleveland, and you guys had a nice rest. So OG should be back to 100%. So who can stay healthy? Who can stay healthy, man? Nobody's wishing injuries on nobody. Everybody wants to see a healthy team go at it.
Right.
But that's normally that's normally the deciding factor when teams are close. And so yeah. But like I said, getting back to Chet. I just wanted Chet just to be in attack mode. And that's the thing about Wemby. Those plays where Wemby's in the middle and the offensive guy beats the defensive guy, and it's just Wemby down there, and you drive and you pull it out, that's like a turnover. Because what happens is you get all the way down there, you see him, you go back out. Now the shot clock's winding down. Now you gotta take a contested shot or a bad shot. Listen, he's going to block some shots, but you got to attack him. like I'm talking about how Chet wasn't aggressive. One thing I like about Caruso, who played poorly as far as his shooting percentage, but he attacked. He drew 2 fouls on Wemby just by attacking the basket. He's going to block some of your shots, but you have to attack him. You got to get into his body. You cannot give him room, then he'll block it. You make him work because he wants you to drive and then see him not and then turn around. You got to get into his body. He's going to block a lot of shots, but yeah, you might get a foul on him. Which will not make him as aggressive. So that's what I say to the Knicks: attack him. Don't be afraid of the block shot. He's going to block it regardless. Whether he's going to block some shots. He's just phenomenal at it. But you can't drive all the way to the paint, and because he's there, you're scared. Attack him, man. Get into his body. Let him feel you. And that will take away some of his offense. We all know in basketball, shot blockers don't like you when you get up when you get into them. They like, especially with Wemby. He doesn't let a weak side help shot defense, and that's how he blocks most of his shots. He's not really blocking people one-on-one because nobody's challenging him one-on-one. But he's that's what he's gonna do with the Knicks. I believe. I don't know if we want to talk preview with the Knicks, the Spurs, but I actually believe they're going to start Wemby on Hart just so he can roam and take away the driving angles from the Knicks, because they're going to have to you're going to have to live with Josh Hart taking outside jump shots, and in that Cleveland series, I mean, everybody was hitting for you guys in the Cleveland series. But I believe that's what San Antonio is going to do. They're going to put Wemby on Hart, and he's just going to roam, and they're going to live with Josh Hart making jump shots.
And that's a good point you were saying, because I was saying, if they put him on Josh Hart, who guards Cat? Cat can do either or. Your thoughts on that real quick?
No. Cat can do either or, but what happens, you got to pick your poison, right? You don't want, and I'm not saying Wemby's not going to ever guard Cat. You're going to switch it up, but I think they're going to start on Hart. But he's going to guard everybody, basically. But what happens with Cat is such a great 3-point shooter, yes, right? You don't want to give Cat open shots. You want to give Hart open shots, and then you don't want Cat pulling Wemby out. And right. now Wemby can't defend the rim. And now you have Hart, and you have Brunson, and you have Bridges and OG, going down the lane. Nah, it's gonna be a chess match, man, between these two coaches, and I believe Wemby's not going to be on Hart. Be on Cat that much in the series. I really don't believe it. So, and then too, we all know Cat's got to stay out of foul trouble, right? He has to play it smart. But yeah, it's going to be a chess match, man. Like how long? If Hart is not making shots, right? How long does Mike Brown bring in a Shamit, bring in a Deuce? You know what I'm saying? To try to get, like, substitutions have to come quick. If stuff is not working, okay, we got to try something else. You can't sit around and start playing guys and they're not attacking their matchup or with the scouting report and not doing what you're supposed to do on the scout. So so it's going to be just a chess match. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I was kind of like hoping that San Antonio won, because I don't think Jared Williams would have been ready for the finals with his hamstring. I just don't think he was going to be ready, and I didn't think Mitchell was going to be ready with the calf. You know what I'm saying? He strained his calf. And we all know NBA teams are not putting guys out there with strained calves. They're just not. We even though it's the finals, we saw it with Halliburton. We saw it. You just can't do it, man. You can't risk it. But yeah, so we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, I just wish that Chet would have just take it to him sometimes. Take him off the dribble. You're also 7-1, so you can get your shot off. If he blocks your shot, he blocks your shot, man. Just go back. Chet just didn't meet the challenge when they needed him to. Because I mean, we didn't think Chet was gonna outplay Wemby, but meet the challenge, bro. 2 shots? No. You basically allowed Wemby to rest on defense. You allowed him to rest, and I think that's one of the keys for the Knicks is going at Wemby, man. Going at him is going to be a big key, and I really believe Cat is very crafty. When Cat's mind is right and his game is right, Cat is formidable, man. He really is. But we'll see. We'll see what happens as far as the matchups, because the thing is, man, San Antonio can throw so many elite perimeter defenders out of Brunson who can play him physical and who's quick and long. I mean, Stephon Castle's 6'6", Dylan Harper's 6'5". You know, I mean, so we'll see, man. We'll see. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, I actually believe the key for San Antonio winning is Fox, and the key for the Knicks winning is Hart. If Hart is making jump shots, the Knicks are going to be hard to beat.
I'll say this. You said, that, Mike Brown's going to have to be quick about personnel decisions if stuff is not working correctly. If you remember, you go back to the first, the first round against the Atlanta. I think that was game 3. Yeah, he told Hart to take a seat for a little bit. And but the thing about it, which I like about this team, I've been watching them pretty much all year, how they got the buy-in from the coach, right? And they collectively, he benched them, brought in what's his name, and they was able to still, like you said, Hart, if he's off, you know what I'm saying? So he's got to be quick about it. That's all I was just trying to say about that.
Right.
I think
yeah.
Coach, I think he will be, but this is going to be. I'm happy about it because, like you said, Ryan, this is going to be an amazing, I think, like you said, chess match of who's going to match up against who. Both a well-coached team. The coach for San Antonio coming from for Pop, man. You know what he's going to bring. You saw what he did with this last series. Same thing with Mike Brown and what they did, man. So I think it's going to be a very exciting series. I can't wait for it to get here. Go ahead.
And they all come from Pop's tree.
I forgot.
Because remember, Mike Brown is under Kerr, which Kerr was under Pop.
Facts. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, and we man, it's gonna be a good matchup, man. It's gonna be a good matchup, and not for nothing, man. Like, it's never really happened. Maybe when the number one option on a team, a championship team, is a 6'1" guard or a 6'2" guard, it's Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. When you think Steph Curry's like 6'3" or whatever, I mean, but he's a little dude. You know what I mean? So as far as the position, and if Brunson can do this, man, it bodes well for his. For his history in the game. So as being one of the only guards who was the number one option and taken to the championship and win it. So that's that narrative. And then you have the narrative of Wemby at 22 years old winning a championship this quick. And yeah, it's has a lot of good narratives to it, man. A lot of good narratives to it, man. So
go ahead, E.
One thing that Ryan said that I think is going to be important moving forward. Ryan said that how San Antonio showed poise in that fourth quarter of a game 7 on the road. I am looking forward to that chess match as far as who's going to be the more poised team in this finals. The Knicks, they don't seem like they have a lot of pressure when you look at the players, but there is a lot of pressure as far as this fan base. We have been starving for a championship for a very, very, very long time. San Antonio, to a lot of people, is not supposed to be here. They're a little ahead of schedule. So that dynamic
a lot ahead of schedule. A lot ahead of schedule.
Right.
Not a little. They're far ahead of schedule. Yeah.
Right.
But I know what you mean. It's just wordplay. I understand what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, man. And y'all said about when you talked about the options that Brown has at his disposal of Hart being on the outside and maybe Wemby playing defense on him and kind of like being that safety where he roams the paint or roams or whatever.
Yes.
The Knicks have options if Mike Brown chooses to use them. You can if he's going to be guarding Hart, I would have Hart at the top of the key, at the top of the 3-point line, top of the key, and then you run pick and roll with Brunson and Cat, pick and pop with Brunson and Cat. You all two other wing players in Anunoby and especially Bridges that can get their own shot if need be. So it's going to be a real challenge. I said it in the chat earlier in the week, and I'm gonna say it again. I really don't think that the Knicks hot shooting that they displayed in Cleveland is going to carry over because they had a little layoff now. But how else are you, besides Brunson, besides Cat, when things start to get stagnant, what are you going to do, coaches and players, to get some offense? And what you said about attacking Cat, I 1,000% agree. I don't care how many times he block his shot, alter your shot, you still have to attack. You have to
attack.
Because if you start give him a break, he's already 20. How old is he? 21? 22?
20.
How old is
20, 22.
22. You want to give a 22-year-old a break on defense because you don't want to attack? You're taking yourself out of the game. And I don't think the Knicks will do that, but I really hope they don't do that. It's going to be a really, really, really good finals, in my opinion. Go ahead, Kevin.
Go ahead.
Brian, no, you're good. Hold on 1 second. Let me just give you some stats real quick. Like I said, the Knicks, of course, they have this 11-game playoff win streak. They beaten people by 23.8 average margin. And here's the key, like E says, and I'm with you. They shot and from three and the league best 30.5% from 3-point, and they got 8 days rest, right? So 40% from three, I should say, and the league best 30.5 3-pointers, right? That is phenomenal shooting, right? Even for the NBA guys, man. Does that continue? I pray and I hope so.
Well, no, I doubt it continues, and here's why. Because you guys played Atlanta, you guys played Philly, and you guys played Cleveland. This San Antonio team is a whole different animal defensively.
Correct.
A whole different animal. There's not going to be a lot of wide open shots. They're good with their principles. If they get beat, you got a rim protector down there. They play super physical. Listen, for a team to out physical OKC, because OKC plays physical. Their guards are physical. They're hitting you and banging you, and they're always grabbing. And their whole mantra is the refs can't call everything.
Yep.
And for San Antonio to basically beat them at their own game says something. And this is going to be a whole different animal. The thing is with San Antonio, bro, they play everybody straight up. Everybody's getting played straight up. They're not trapping and forcing the ball at your hand so you can have an advantage. And no, they're gonna play straight up and they're gonna make you make tough shots. I mean, we would all be crazy to think that if the Knicks can continue with this barrage of shooting, because at some point the averages gotta come down and be the averages, right? But hey, if they do, then you guys got a championship.
Yep, that's why I said I pray.
But it's gonna be tough to keep shooting like this. This is historic shooting. But like I said, I don't want to poo-poo on Cleveland because they have defensive stalwarts. Philadelphia has defensive stalwarts with Paul George and DJ Edgecombe. It's just that Embiid couldn't move. So Atlanta has some defensive stalwarts on the perimeter, and even so, I'm not poo-pooing them, but OKC and San Antonio all year long has been the best teams in the league. The record says it, the metrics say it, and so has the Knicks. So something's gonna have to give. But to answer your question, no, I don't see the Knicks shooting like this.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you know what I mean? So man, but
I hear you. Ryan, let's run to the WNBA.
Oh, I got one other question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before we move on, Ryan, got one more question for you. So I hear in the media, of course, we got to put our quotations up in the media because we don't know what's true and what's not. But I hear in the media that there are talks or rumors of Giannis going to Oklahoma City. Your thoughts?
That's always been a rumor, especially if OKC flamed out. But OKC didn't flame out. OKC was injured, and Chet didn't play well. But why would Milwaukee want Chet if Chet didn't play well? I think the trade, if anything happens, would be for Jalen Williams, because one thing I know about OKC, they love Chet. I'm not saying they don't love Jalen Williams, but he missed a lot of time, and they were still a number 1 seed. And but then you play devil's advocate, and you said there's just this mental block with Chet and Wemby. And if you think Wemby and the Spurs are going to be here for a long time, maybe you do call Milwaukee and say, hey, let's talk a Chet Giannis trade, and you get a slew of picks. So maybe that happens. But I do know that Milwaukee does like the Heat offer of where Tyler Hero, who's from Milwaukee, maybe a Hani Hopkins, so Majovic. So they have young players and picks that can lure Giannis, and it's all on Giannis, right? Because Giannis, I think he has maybe like another player option left on his contract, and he's gonna have to want to resign with you. So no team is gonna trade for Giannis and they'd be like, "Well, I'm gonna lose him for nothing," because now he's not gonna pull a Kawhi Leonard with Kawhi Leonard did to Toronto. Yeah, they won a championship. you would think after you won a championship with a team you would stay, but it's. Right. The team that Giannis goes to is the team that he wants to go to. That's because he has all the leverage. He's like, hey, trade me to the Heat. Trade me to Golden State. Trade me to OKC. But my thing is, why the hell would you want to go to the West if you got Wemby out there? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to deal with that? Let somebody else try to beat him, and then you get to the championship in the East. So I think he ultimately stays in the East. And I think the play is Miami. I think he wants to play with Miami. I know he and Bam. They said like you said, that there was rumors about him going to OKC. There's also rumors with the Heat that he and Bam has been communicating. So so everything's in play, but like I said, it's a lukewarm environment for his trade value, because he gets to dictate where he wants to go. Like if he still had 3 years on his deal, 4 years on his deal, and not the player option or what have you, then you can be like, okay, yeah, well, I own your rights for 4 years. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but if he can opt out, nah, man. So he's got to go where he's gonna get traded to where he wants to go. Yeah, but I mean, how like the OKC Giannis thing.
I just,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they have the pieces. Don't get me wrong. They have all the draft picks. They have the young players. They have everything that Milwaukee would want. But does Giannis want that?
Right. I just thought that. I mean, I've of course listening to you and hearing it or whatever. I mean, it's not the first time that I've heard it. I just find it interesting, especially with the supposed missing in action of Chet Holmgren. I'm like, I'm still not going to trade a Chet for Giannis, being that you have all this future ahead of you with this guy. They still got a slew of picks and all this other stuff. Not poo-pooing on Giannis. That's just something that I wouldn't do personally. But
right, and they just won the championship with Chet. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's just, hey, like if OKC stays pat and be like, hey, the reason why we lost, we went to a game 7, and for games 4, 5, 6, and 7, we didn't have Mitchell. For games for 5 of the games, we didn't have J-Dub, and we still went to game 7. So they can easily like, hey, it's just all about health right now. But at some point, OKC's gonna have to make some deals with all these picks they got, because they can't keep all these damn picks. You know what I mean? So like yeah. And one thing I did hear too, E, was OKC possibly trading up in the draft into the top 5. I've heard that. So so that's a play for them.
That's
crazy. Because they have all the assets. They have all the assets. They have all the assets to do it. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Ryan, the WNBA real quick.
That's interesting.
All right, the WNBA. That's why I did that for you. Yeah. WNBA, man. We all know what the big story is. The big story was about the dust up with Stephanie White and Caitlin Clark on the sideline, where Caitlin got benched in the game against the Fire, and it's just two competitors. You know what I'm saying? Going at it. We all know Caitlin can be a little fiery. We see it in college where her own dad had to tell her, to hey, basically shut up and play. Yep. But what's happening is it's a frustration there, right? Because there's a stat, like, I think in isolation this season, like Caitlin's been isolated like 42 times, and like 80% of the time she's gotten scored on. And I think the next person is like Olivia Miles with like 15 isolations, and she's a rookie. So, but it's just frustration. She's let's call it what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. It's a long season. Everybody has slumps. She's in a slump, right? She's not playing well. She's not playing efficient basketball, right? She's not guarding her position. She's getting blown by, and they're attacking her. And then her tantrums on the court a little bit. So it's a little like, it's like, okay, listen, calm down. So I have no problem with Stephanie White getting on her, man. You got to coach her, you got to challenge her. There's nothing wrong with that. Caitlin Clark even came out and said it today. She's like, I ride for Stephanie White. You know what I'm saying? And my team rides for me. They're just going through a little slump, but everything is going to be magnified because she's Caitlin Clark. So that comes to the territory of being a so-called cash cow or the so-called face of the league. When you play well, you're going to get all the credit. But when you play bad,
And she's playing bad. There's no other way to say it. She's playing bad. Because what happens is because so when you're playing bad, you're gonna get the brunt of it. Because you're the star player. It's hard to win in the W. You can get away with your star player not playing great in the NBA because you have other players who can pick up the slack and this and that. And let's be honest. I mean, Indiana has a good roster. They have two other All-Stars with Mitchell and Boston on the squad with her. You know, and it's magnified because without Caitlin, they just got finished beating the Fire by 17 points. Then when Caitlin plays, they get beat by 20 because the other guard, I forget her name for the Fire, she was cooking her. And then prior to that, Veronica Burton cooked her, with the Valkyrie. So it's just frustration. They'll figure it out. It's no problem. Everybody's like, oh, they're gonna fire Stephanie White. So what? You're gonna want Caitlin Clark to have 3 coaches in 4 years? Like at some point, who do you start blaming? The common denominator is you. So I mean it's. But like I said, she came out and said, "Man, me and Stephanie White are good." She rides for her coach, and I believe her. It's just frustration because the way they're losing, and frustration because she's playing bad. She's not playing efficient basketball. She's shooting a poor percentage the last 2 games, and it came in a loss. So that's what happens. That's what happens. But I love Minnesota's up there. I mean, the expansion teams are playing well. Portland, playing well, just great. Atlanta's playing well. So we'll see. So I think the Commissioner's Cup games start tonight. There's 2 games. Yes. Commissioner Cup games start tonight, and then on Thursday,
Seattle and Dallas is playing right now. I got it on the screen.
Right, and then on Thursday, I believe it's the Fever against the Atlanta Dream, the Commissioner Cup. So you'll have Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston Mitchell versus Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray, and Angel Reese. And Atlanta's playing great ball, man. They're playing great basketball. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, it's good for the league, man. Have a little dust up with the coach. Because Stephanie White, even as a player, she was fiery. So she's gonna have that within her coaching style. And you want a coach to challenge Caitlin. Yeah, you want a coach to challenge Caitlin, man. Like what we doing here? Because she's a cash cow, you can't go at her and hold her accountable and say this and say, hey, you're getting your ass torched on the defensive end. Show up. Nothing wrong with that. And then Kelly's like, I'm putting my hands up. She's like, I'm putting my hands up. What you want me to do? She hit a big shot. So they went at each other. So they'll figure it out, man. I think in the long run, it's gonna be beneficial for the team.
Yeah, she was getting cooked.
And I think it's safe to say that Indiana is just 4-4. It's just 8 games into the season. I'm sure they will be fine.
They will be fine. All this stuff that Stephanie White can't coach. Give me a break. It's the most craziest nonsense ever. Like I said in our group chat, I'm like, last year they beat the mighty Minnesota Lynx in the in-season tournament and went one game away from the finals and lost to the eventual champion Las Vegas Aces in the last game in overtime. So don't tell me she can't coach. She can coach. It's just what happens is it's hard to win in the WNBA when your best player struggles. Just is. Especially when the best player has the ball in her hands 70% of the time on offense. So if she's struggling on offense, you can't live with her getting cooked on the defensive end. Yeah. Right. You just can't. Because normally Caitlin Clark is so good offensively, she can make up for that. So whereas you don't see it because she has 26 points and 11 assists. But when she goes 1 for 7 and has 6 points, and then she's getting cooked in the other end, and the girl her matchup has 16 points and 10 assists, then it's it's hard to defend. So and it's not a shot at Caitlin. It's that's just basketball. They're going to attack you, man. And Sue Bird said something great on the broadcast too during halftime. She said what Caitlin has to do is learn the scout report on every guard you're playing. What's their strengths? What's this? What's that? You know what I'm saying? Like if they're going to put me on an island, I gotta know this person's strength. So that's what she has to do. Because on this same show, from other people, they told me when it came to Angel Reese, she need to get into the gym and she can't be doing other stuff. She need to be in the gym. Well, Caitlin Clark is doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Indianapolis 500 during the season. This commercial, that commercial. So wrestling, all kind of stuff. Popping up at this point. So are you good? So you what do I always tell you guys, man? Just keep it consistent, bro. Just keep it consistent, man.
Yes,
like when one player goes off, you ready to talk, but what don't go off and they're struggling, it's like nothing. You know what I mean? So just keep it consistent. Yeah. Everybody's gonna have bad games. Everybody's gonna have a bad stretch. It's sports. It's basketball. But if you're always gonna clown somebody when they're struggling and then they play good, you don't say nothing. That's where I get kind of like, okay, I see what's happening. Okay, you all you want, no. I can come out and say Angel Reese was poop. I can come out and say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but. And I can praise her when she has a good game. Same thing with Caitlin. I can say she's playing bad. You don't got to make an excuse for her. She's great. We all know she's great, but she's playing bad, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a learning process.
Yep.
That's all I got.
I have nothing else after that, Kev. He done had about 4 or 5 mic drops just with that alone. So I'm gonna just do this.
Hold on.
You can put this on the thumbnail. That's all I got.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, he's Mr. Rock.
I love that music, man.
Yo, man, great show tonight. I know we went a little bit over, man. Appreciate all those that's been in the comments, man. There was just a lot to cover with sports, man. So, yes, we went over a little bit. And, hey, this is a really great time of the year. It really is. Like I said, the NFL, they had all their news today. Major League Baseball, what they got going on. Of course, the NBA Finals commencing on Wednesday night in San Antonio. My Knicks and the Spurs. And then, of course, you got the WNBA, what they got going on, man. Man, enjoy your sports, man. Things that I forgot real quick. D-Dubs is not here with me tonight, but hey, Serena Williams, she's just announced that she's at 44 years old. She's going back to play professional tennis. She will be premiering in a tennis open in England next month. So she's coming back.
Yes,
Serena is coming. Yeah. So
nice. Belmont Stakes too on Saturday for the horse racing fans. Oh, we'll talk about that on Thursday, I guess. Yeah.
And be like I did not forget because I got several things that I got, man. We absolutely will be having our main man come back with Dan and talk some hockey on Thursday. So yes, the Vegas Knights will be facing, of course, the Carolina Hurricanes. V-Lock, are you going to the game? Hopefully you're going to the game. Game 1 will be on tomorrow night in Raleigh, 8 p.m. Tomorrow night.
AMC and Rio.
Carolina.
Let's go.
You see Rio.
Nice.
Brenda Moore Rod can become the 7th person to win the cup as both a player and head coach with the same franchise. Frederick Anderson has been in the playoffs, best goalie by a wide margin. Vegas leans on Carter Hart under Tortorella. Tortorella, who, if you don't remember, Vegas fired their coach right at the end of the season. Tortsy comes in, he takes over the team, and they've been hot ever since. And like I said, we'll have our main man, Dan, break it down. Also, we had our man, Sandy Cohen, will also come assist Dan as well as he came on a couple of weeks ago and talk some NHL. So, V-Lock, there you go. V-Lock, are you going? 1K for the cheapest tickets?
Yeah.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, V-Lock, I seen that and it took my head. I'm just happy that they there. Yeah, I'll be from the comforts of my house. Thank you very much.
I know that's right.
Yo, KW, you going back to New York to go see your Knicks? I said not for $3,600 for the seats.
Hell no.
Nah, man, I'm good. I love my Knicks, man. But no, I'm good, man. I'm very good, man. So listen, part shots real quick. I'll throw it to Ryan. What you got for us, Ryan? Before we go.
Hey, appreciate you guys, man, sticking on long so I can jump on at the end. I appreciate you guys, and man, just enjoy the NBA Finals. It's gonna be a great matchup, and congratulations to you guys, man. It's win, lose, or draw, man. All you want to do, what I always say, man, all you want is a shot. All you want your franchise and your GM is just let me just get a shot. You know what I'm saying? So, and you guys have a shot and a great shot. So yeah, man, kudos to you guys. And I will say, for this whole season, I have been praising the Knicks a lot. I know I had to, I had to get you because you guys are, you guys are anticipating the downfall that you always have. But now, man, yeah, but and rightfully so. I understand because I'm at that point now with my Rockets. I'm like, okay, we have a 10-point lead with 5 minutes, we'll lose. So that's just the way sports is, man. We're fickle fans, bro. But yeah, but man, we'll see what happens, man. See how much I talk. I know it's part of the shots. I'm still carrying on. Go ahead, man. That's it. My bad.
It's all good, man. It's all good. We missed you last week, man. It's all good,
It's
bro.
all good.
Love you,
Yeah.
man. Yo, Angry One, what you got for us, man, before we get out of here?
Yo, it's all love, man. It's all love. Yo, man, nothing heavy, man. Yo, man, y'all go out there and enjoy y'all sports, man. It's the Sports Chasers, Sports Nation of y'all. Thank y'all, everybody in the comments, everybody that's listening, everybody that couldn't be here tonight, everybody that is here tonight. Yo, man, Knicks and Canes in 6. You heard it here first. And I'm with Ryan, man. Yo, when everybody was talking, hold on, let me just say this real quick. When everybody was talking about the Knicks, coach gotta go, this, and that, the third. I'm like, yo, man, honestly, this is the first time where I did not care what the Knicks did in the regular season. Just get to the playoffs. Yo, man, they got a new system that they gotta implement. It takes time to get these guys rolling. And what did they do? They got and thank you to the Atlanta Hawks. Because they made them make changes, they made them make adjustments, and they've been flying ever since. So, with all that being said, Knicks in 6, and y'all be safe out there.
Nice.
Appreciate that, E. Thank you so much, man. Hey, like I just said before, man, this is a great time of year. I know they got the Christmas songs, the most wonderful time of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year now. Like I said, the NBA's got going on, the NHL, Major League Baseball, they're playing, baseball, hey, don't think about the labor stuff, man. Just enjoy sports right now. The WNBA, tennis, golf, all that stuff, man. It's just important. So I was so excited today. Was working, couldn't wait to just get on the mic and just talk about sports and do what we love, man, here, man. So listen, we're going to get on out of here. On behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren, host and for James the Angry One Warren, for Ryan D'Souza, for the other crew, for the rest of the crew, I should say, Mike Mills, for the DA. DA jumped on for a few minutes. Shout out to the DA. D-Dubs recovering, man. Hey, appreciate you, brother. Dan was in the comments. Both of them was in the comments. Hey, man, we appreciate you. Love you guys. Hey, Chasers Nation, we love you too. We thank you so much for tapping in. Hey, somebody that, show somebody that doesn't, show them the link, man. Hey, man, we're here every Monday and Thursday, man, and we got other stuff going on as well. So, listen, we're going to get on out of here. V-Lac, I don't want to hear you talking about that. You said you watched the Knicks, too. You said we can't pay you, man. So, stop with the Knick hatred, man. But I love you, bro, man. Thank you so much for joining in, man. So, listen, we're going to get on out of here, man. Y'all enjoy y'all Monday, Hey, we'll see y'all Thursday night. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
You've been locked in with Sports Chasers, where conversation doesn't follow trends, it follows the game. If you rock with the discussion, tap in, subscribe, and join the community that keeps sports real. Until next time, stay locked, stay sharp, and keep chasing sports the right way.